For the last 2 years, every major AI release felt like a public event. OpenAI drops a model, Anthropic drops a model, Google drops a model, everyone rushes to test it, and the cycle continues. And for the most part, people haven't really had an issue with this. All we've pretty much wanted is for each new model to be better than the last, cost less, at least have the same cost, but be easier to use. Our expectation has been for this pattern to continue while new innovations get introduced over time, like autonomous AI agents, called context-aware AI, etc., etc. But of course, things rarely ever stay the same. And that's what this video is about. Change. The era I just described, it's over. Thanks to OpenAI's latest models are ChatGPT 5.6 Sol, Terra, and Luna. Sol being the flagship model, Terra the model for everyday work, and Luna a fast and affordable model. And as you can see from the Terminal Bench 2.1 benchmark, it scores the highest in comparison to other models. It also ranks number 1 in other benchmarks, or close to number 1. But I'm not going to go through each benchmark.
OpenAI just released ChatGPT 5.6, but not in the normal way. For now, access is restricted to a small group of government-approved partners while Washington reviews the cybersecurity risk. That's not a cancellation, but it's a tremendous slowdown in frontier availability.
You see, how the typical cycle would go is new models announced, people test it, YouTubers benchmark it, Twitter argues about it, everyone decides whether it's overhyped or not, and basically release the AI and then just let the market judge. But this case is different. Again, the new way things operate is arts for government. If you go onto OpenAI's website in reference to ChatGPT 5.6, it will say, "We believe in broad access and we plan to make GPT 5.6, Sol, Terra, and Luna generally available in the coming weeks. As part of our ongoing engagement with the US government, we previewed our plans and the model's capabilities ahead of today's launch. At the request, we are starting with a limited preview for a small group of trusted partners whose participation has been shared with the government before releasing more broadly. During this preview, we will continue testing and coordinating closely with partners as we work toward broader availability." So OpenAI, they're making it crystal clear that it's the US government responsible for the slow rollout of the 5.6 model. They go on to say, "We don't believe this kind of government access process should become the long-term default." Now, does Sam Altman and co. really think this won't occur again? Or are they just saying that to be nice because they're aware the government is watching? But here's where things are getting interesting. They go on to say, "It keeps the best tools from users, developers, enterprises, cyber defenders, and global partners who need them. We are taking this short-term step because we believe it is the strongest path to broad availability in the coming weeks, while we work with the administration to develop the Cyber Executive Order Framework and a repeatable process for future model releases." And there you go. OpenAI is letting everyone worldwide know, we know this is nonsense, that we just can't release our new models that we've been working on for God knows how long. But just to let all of you guys know, it's Trump's fault, not ours. And sorry, this is the best we can do working with the knuckleheads in Washington. Hopefully, once this framework's in place, we can release models in full going forward without the US government breathing down our necks. The new way things operate seems to be, let's approve all the users first, then we'll release the AI. But here's where the story gets uncomfortable. It would be easy for me to sit here and say, look at the government ruin AI, locking the public out, protecting their own power. And to be honest, a huge part of me believes that, I think that, but there's some more nuance to this situation, I have to be honest. Around the same time these models started getting restricted, Anthropic made a pretty wild accusation. They claimed Alibaba-linked operators connected to Qwen used nearly 25,000 fake accounts to hit the Claude with around 28.8 million interactions, and that this was a model extraction campaign using Claude's answers to train or improve rival models, basically trying to copy part of Claude's capability without actually building a Claude-style LLM.
Anthropic has accused Chinese tech giant Alibaba of extracting its Claude AI technology in what it says is the largest known attack of its kind. That is according to a letter seen by Reuters. The US AI company said Alibaba carried out a distillation operation earlier this year that involves using outputs from a powerful AI to train a cheaper model, effectively copying its abilities. Anthropic says the operation used nearly 25,000 fake accounts to generate more than 28.8 million interactions with Claude. It linked the campaign to operators affiliated with Alibaba and its AI lab Qwen. and it warned that distillation could help China catch up with its advanced capabilities. The accusations were made in a letter sent on June 10th to Senators Tim Scott and Elizabeth Warren ahead of a US Senate Banking Committee hearing on AI. Back in February, Anthropic said it faced attacks by Chinese AI outfits, including DeepSeek. Alibaba did not immediately respond to a request for comment on the latest accusations.
Now, whether you believe every detail of that allegation or not, this is the nightmare scenario for an American AI company. You spend billions building a frontier model, and then someone allegedly comes along with fake accounts, scripts, etc., and just ciphers the capabilities out of your model, essentially stealing your formula. And this is why the government starts getting nervous, because if these models are powerful enough to find software vulnerabilities, write, exploit code, assist cyber operations, or help rival countries catch up faster, releasing them to everyone, it just becomes more like a leaking capability.
US government. This really occurred over Friday and Saturday. Anthropic disabling access to its most advanced AI models, including Mythos, following an unprecedented order by the Trump administration to keep the technology out of the hands of all foreign nationals. The US government citing...
The thing is, the governments and corporations these days are anything but trustworthy. And that includes our domestic ones. It's all good not wanting a foreign nation or entity to steal our technology. We can all agree on that. But are you going to be altruistic with the AI or use it for your own nefarious purposes? And that includes for your own domestic governments. The big danger is these restrictions and alterations, they create an AI class system.
This is the time when we need to get into the rollout, because the rollout is really interesting, okay? The rollout, for now, you don't have access to GPT 5.6 Sol, Terra, or Luna. And it says, for now, at the request of the United States government, they're starting with a limited preview among a small group of trusted partners in Codex and the API. So this is something that is pretty crazy, guys. Right now, there is a model.
At the top, you have governments, defense contractors, major tech partners, approved corporations, and elite research labs. These are the people who are getting early access, special versions, and direct conversations with the companies building the models. And then beneath them, you've got everyone else. You know, those normal users. That could be small startups, independent creators, foreign businesses, developers without connections. People are told they still have access to AI, but only to the versions that have been slowed down, filtered, delayed, or made safe enough for public release. Now, that's the unfair part, because the public may still get the AI, but not the real AI, just a polished and restricted version. And once that becomes normal, the gap only gets wider between the haves and have-nots. A large corporation with approved access can automate research, code faster, analyze, and just compete faster in general. Meanwhile, a small founder, a solo creator, or a normal person trying to build something from scratch gets told to use the public model and just be grateful. And that is a power structure where the guise of safety policy can be used as the excuse. And can we do anything about this if this were to happen, since these are private companies calling the shots? And it seems unlikely as things stand. For years, the internet was built on the idea that ordinary people could access powerful tools, search engines, social media, cloud software, open source code. But frontier AI might not follow that path, and it doesn't seem to be so far. The most powerful models may become something closer to a security clearance. You do not just get the model, you get approved to use the model. And don't get me wrong, I understand why the governments are nervous. If these models can be stolen, weaponized, or used against critical systems, then pretending they're just harmless chatbot is kind of naive. But I do not love the idea that the future where the best intelligent tools are quietly reserved for governments and approved insiders, while the public gets a slower, safer, but neutered version and is told just be grateful and be happy with what you get. That's a terrible future in my opinion. Everybody agrees AI should be safe. However, who gets to decide who is allowed access to the powerful AIs? And especially if your own government cannot be trusted. Let me know what you think in the comment section below.